Welcome to So Awkward. Hey, welcome to So Awkward. I'm Don,
I'm Jester.
and we just saw the never-ending story,
Is that what it was?
Hateful Eight.
Oh.
You're watching So Awkward. This is Freddy Krueger saying hi.
That was a long movie.
It was a long movie. When's the last time you saw a movie with an overture? Never?
Never.
Oh, like Ben-Hur. The Ten Commandments, maybe. I think
Maybe.
like Sound of Music. No, nothing I've seen in the theater.
No.
During the intermission, we were talking about like the last movie we saw with intermission.
I decided
Titanic.
it was Titanic.
Yeah. Anyway, we just saw the Hateful Eight.
Yeah, we did.
I liked it.
I did too.
It was crazy.
Yeah. I don't know how to review this movie.
No,
There was a lot of talking in the beginning.
that's Tarantino.
Just a lot of talking.
That's what Tarantino is. A phenomenal writer. Some people would say he needs to edit a little bit. That he writes too much, but
No,
it's like
I love it.
Yeah, his monologues are just
They're-
amazing.
Yeah.
He's a brilliant writer, and he gets amazing performances out of his actors.
Yeah.
Which a lot of which is I think he writes these characters for these actors.
Right.
Like he probably wrote the script knowing Sam Jackson was going
Right.
to play this character, knowing Kurt Russell was going to be the Hangman, knowing Walton Goggins. Do you know Walton Goggins?
No.
He was the sheriff.
Okay.
That guy's
He was so good.
He should be like the most famous actor ever. That guy's always good.
I hated him when I was supposed to hate him, and then I don't know.
I mean, it was a 3-hour sprawling movie with all these different conversations, and because you hate the people because
Yeah.
they're Southern and they use the N-word.
Right.
But then
constantly.
But then you see them as characters.
Yeah.
Like it was just so brilliantly set up. Like yeah, like you hate the characters, you like the characters, you go back to hating them.
Right.
Every character.
Every single one.
There was no hero.
No.
There were villains for sure, but even them, like you saw.
I think the only person I didn't hate was Samuel L. Jackson.
I don't know.
You could even hate him.
He was quite a
But
sadistic
he
killer.
Yeah. He was the only one I didn't hate.
Well, it's the power of Sam Jackson. I mean, you can't hate Sam Jackson.
No, you should hate his character.
Well, yeah.
You should, but I didn't.
We won't talk about any spoilers.
No.
I will say I liked the first half of the movie better than the second half. But the second
Sure.
half is where stuff actually happens.
Yeah.
Like the first half of the movie was literally just
I mean, after
2 hours of talking.
After the intermission, that's when it all goes down.
Right. I've seen every Quentin Tarantino movie in the theater, except for Reservoir Dogs, which was like his directorial debut.
Okay.
And I don't even know if that came out places in the theater. But after that, like Pulp Fiction, I've seen them all. I haven't liked them all. And some of his movies I dislike.
Okay.
But I see them all because you have to. He's such an interesting filmmaker. Even his movies I don't like I didn't like Django. I didn't really like Inglourious Bastards.
I kind of liked that one.
I didn't really like that one.
I didn't see that in the theater.
I did. But I have a tremendous amount of respect for him as a filmmaker and writer. I find some of his themes to be, I don't always agree with what I think his films are trying to say. This one, I have no idea what it was trying to say. I think it was just trying to say life is terrible and people are the worst and don't trust anybody. I don't know what he was trying to say. I don't want to say he glorifies violence, but I think it's something like Kill Bill, Inglourious Bastards, Django, he does seem to say it's okay for black people to kill racists. It's okay for women to kill men who beat them. It's okay for Jews to kill Nazis. and I'm not going to get in. I'm a pacifist who always, I think forgiveness is better than seeking vengeance. But then again, some YouTube guy. What do I know about anything? What were we talking about?
I don't know. It's just gonna go on like the movie did.
Right. No,
I don't really mean that as a criticism. It was long, but I enjoyed all of it.
It was long. It didn't feel long.
No.
Like, I peed during the intermission, but if there had been no intermission, I would have held it in. Like, I did not want to miss a second.
No. It was so good.
Yeah, it was so good. And we saw it in 70 millimeter.
Yeah.
Which you insisted upon.
I insisted. I had to see it like this.
Well worth it.
It was so good.
The screen was huge.
Yeah.
And it was gorgeous.
It really was. When they were out in the snow, it was like blinding.
There were because it opens on like this snowy vista, and then you see like these mountains, and there's just so much depth. Like, it looks 3D.
Right.
I'm not a nostalgic or sentimental guy. I don't yearn for the days of film. I like digital projection because I think it looks cleaner. Like in this one, you can see the scratches and the pops in the film, and it's like a little shaky because it's film.
Yeah, I love that.
It was interesting to see it. If all movies were film, I'd be fine with it. I mean, in a theater like this, I think if a theater is showing The Hateful Eight in 70 millimeter film, they probably have a pretty good projector and a pretty good projectionist who knows what they're doing. But I do remember the days when you'd go to a movie,
of course,
and it would break, or the lighting would be off. Like, digital cleans all that up.
I think I was seeing Free Willy when that happened to me.
That happens all the time.
It was the only time it happened to me.
Really?
And we had to leave the theater.
So many times I've gone to see a movie like in my youth where it just didn't work, or looked crappy, or reels break. But that isn't to say it shouldn't be on film, because I think Quentin Tarantino proved, that film still has some life. I mean, it was gorgeous.
I don't have anything bad to say about this. If you're a kid, don't go see it.
Crazy violent.
Yeah.
Blood, heads exploding.
Ew.
Just people, guts flying in people's faces.
There was some nudity.
Yeah, there was a penis.
What's the bad thing you're going to say? Or the negative thing you're going to say?
There was one moment in the film that took me out of the film.
Okay.
And this isn't a spoiler. There was after the intermission, they had the voiceover. The narrator came in and said,
sure.
Let's check back. And do you know who the narrator was?
No.
Quentin Tarantino.
I assumed it was.
It was Quentin Tarantino. It was almost as though he was reading like the script notes.
Sure.
I mean, it jarred me at first, but then there's a reason why he did it that way. Because he, while this was happening, also this happened.
Yeah.
And that was the best way to show that. And it was quick. It felt, at first I was like, oh, here's Quentin Tarantino again, putting himself in his movie. I don't really have any complaints. Like, I think he threw in some experimental stuff, which didn't necessarily land for me, but I wouldn't call it a flaw. No, this might be his best movie.
It could be.
Didn't have much of a story or plot, if
No.
any. But Kurt Russell.
Yeah.
Amazing. I love Kurt Russell. Samuel L. Jackson, he should probably get an Oscar.
Probably.
He was phenomenal.
So good.
He was so good. Walton Goggins. Tim Roth as the British guy. Mm-hmm. He was hilarious. I think he was supposed to be hilarious.
He was supposed to be.
He was great. Michael Madsen as Joe Gage. The guy...
Yeah.
They didn't do a whole lot with his character.
But I loved his character.
Michael Madsen Michael Madsen, Tim Roth, these are people who are just in all of Tarantino's films. I wanted more Michael Madsen.
Okay.
Because he's great. I don't know who played the Mexican guy. But he was awesome.
He was really good.
He was so good. He kind of stole the movie. And then Jennifer Jason Leigh as Daisy.
Daisy.
She was amazing.
Yeah.
Subtle, but then at the end she kind of she had a big monologue, sort of. Covered in blood.
Covered in blood.
She was great. Oh, you know what actor we're forgetting? Because we
Ooh.
saw his name in the opening, and we're like, huh?
Yeah.
And he comes in at the end. Channing Tatum.
Channing Tatum. I expected to hate him,
He's charming.
but he gave a pretty decent performance.
I think you have Quentin Tarantino writing and directing your scene. He's going to get a good performance out of anybody.
Yeah.
I was impressed with Channing Tatum. Channing Tatum is okay in my book. I liked his character.
Yeah.
Like he stole the scenes that he was in. Like he just had this charm. Like the character had a charm too. Like when's the last time you've seen Bruce Dern? That's a great thing about Quentin Tarantino is he casts all these actors who are so good, but they don't work in the studio system. You know, they're not Tom Cruise. You don't know who Bruce Dern is.
No. I hardly know who Tom Cruise is.
No, I loved it. The more we're talking about it, I think the more I like it. Or I'm realizing that I liked it more than... I mean, I loved it, watching it, I was entertained. But there are moments that are so shocking.
Yeah. I was nervous throughout the whole thing because I don't know what he's going to do. So I kept expecting to see something that I just wouldn't even be able to get out of my head ever again. Mm-hmm. Something's going to happen, and I will never get that image out of my brain.
What image is stuck in your brain?
Oh, I can't say it. I'm going to spoil it.
Tell me.
When he...
That was pretty bad. Yeah.
It wasn't the worst, but that's just the one that stays there.
I didn't find this as unsettling as some violent movies. Like it's bloodier than like Hostel or Saw, but those movies are gross.
Yeah.
For some reason, this isn't gross. Maybe because there's like it's intelligently put together. All right.
Are we done?
I don't know. Are we? I feel.
I'm not sure. There's really no ending to this.
Well, no. I mean, when did this movie come out? Like 2 weeks ago.
2 weeks ago.
And is today the last day to see the 70mm?
I think so.
At least at Southdale Theater in Edina, Minnesota.
Right.
But if you have a chance to see it in 70mm, see it.
Do it.
I was a skeptic, but I mean, right from the opening shot, I was like, oh my God. Props to Tarantino. I mean, he has the power to say, this is how I'm going to film my movie, and this is how you're going to show it.
Yeah.
I think that's cool. Okay, bye.
Okay, bye.
If we were ever going to have this kind of video, it should be this one.
I guess so.
Should be hanging.
Where's he going to hang from?
We can't see him.
No. You're just going to hold him the whole time?
Welcome to So Awkward.